This was a book I actually never thought I was going to write. I thought I was done. I had done maybe a dozen biographies and as many documentaries on the Holocaust, and I was finished. It was too much darkness, too much gloom, too much tragedy. And about 8 years ago, the phone rang. And it was Siggi Wilzig's son. I didn't know it at the time, but you know, a voice on the other end of the phone says, "Mr. Greene, I've read your books. You're the one who's got to write my father's biography." He's very insistent. You have to write the story. I said, "Well, tell me about your father. Who is he?" And he said, "Well, he was. He's not here anymore. He was a survivor of Auschwitz and 2 death marches." And you know, I said, "I'm sorry. Let me stop you right there. I'm very flattered, but I'm done with the darkness." And the voice at the other end of the phone exploded across the line and saying, "You don't understand. My father was a beacon of light to every immigrant who ever came to America. He was a ray of hope, you know, for anyone who's ever been through tragedy." And he went on. And I did some research, and I found out that Ivan, Siggi's son, was not exaggerating, that his father really was one of the most extraordinary stories in post-war American history. Siggi Wilzig was 21 years old when he arrived in America in 1947, having been through 2 years of forced labor as a teenager, 2 years of starvation and beatings and horrors in Camp Auschwitz, 2 death marches in the middle of freezing cold weather, liberated by American troops in Camp Mauthausen in April of 1945, weighing 88 pounds. Came to America with nothing, no education. The schools were closed to Jews by the late 30s. $200 in his pocket. By the time he was done, he had built an oil and banking empire with more than $4 billion in assets. Now you got to ask yourself, how did he do that? That's what this book is all about. It's the story of this volcano of a guy who had stared into the abyss and found a way to manage it, not get past it. He never got past it. He had nightmares every day of his life. But how to manage those nightmares. He said something extraordinary once in an interview just a few weeks before he passed away. He said, "I'm going to tell you something I've never said before." This was to an interviewer from the Shoah Foundation. He said, "I don't think I could live without my nightmares. They give me an ultra-realistic sense of the value and the beauty of life, especially as a Jew, and I would never, ever, ever give that up." That's someone people need to know about.